For me, it's the friend who roasts you and insults you when it's just the two of you. But when you're with a large crowd, they speak well of you and support you. That's how you know they're real ones. I feel like if it's the other way around, they're pretty phony. Edit. I know everyone says this, but I didn't expect this to gain so much attention. I just want to say, if you're still in high school or college and only have a small group of real friends but want to be more popular, please don't. You will regret it as much as I did. In middle school, I had only a couple of friends, and they were all such chill people. I regret every day that I'm not friends with them anymore. After middle school, I drifted away from them to hang out with a different group. It was such a large group, and throughout high school, we would go to parties together, smoke, drink, etc. I started realizing how fake most of them were, and that they would sometimes use me for rides. But I was so stupid and obsessed with being cool that I just went with it because I didn't have anybody else and I wanted to go to these parties. Fast forward to my senior year, and the big group starts drifting. I lose so many friends, and depression and social anxiety take over. Those friends would start being so cruel and mean to me and acted like they were joking, but I could see they were just plain bullies. I graduated almost 2 years ago, and I only have one friend I've been friends with since elementary school, whom I only get to see once a month. I was so lonely every day after high school and so depressed, but recently it started getting better. I have been on antidepressants to cope with it, and thankfully they have been working. Not a day goes by where I don't regret ditching that group I had in middle school. My life may not have been as exciting in high school, but I guarantee I wouldn't have had to deal with depression because they would have my back. They were so real. I want to message those old friends soon and see what they are up to, and I hope one day I can reconnect with them. Please don't try to hang with the popular group in high school or middle school. It won't matter after you graduate. Stick with your small group because those are the people who will be there for you. Story 1. I have a friend who acts like the most immature person in a good, funny way a lot of the time, but he can be the most mature person in the room when he needs to be. When the moment calls for it, he can be the most sincere friend you have, even though he acts like an idiot the rest of the time. Story 2. I have a friend who is in a good mood and excited all the time. You can't bring him down. He's a one-man hype squad, and you're guaranteed to have a good time whenever you hang with him. Love that dude, and I wish more people had his positivity for life. A lot of folks responded to this with concerns that my friend is depressed. The concern is appreciated and honestly really sweet, but without delving into specifics, as one of his best friends, I can confirm that he is well-adjusted and looks after his mental health. Your concern is totally warranted. However, sometimes those who smile the most are also suffering the most. Always reach out to your friends. Story 3. The one who will be a complete weirdo with you, no judgment about said weirdness, but who can also have serious conversations. I've had and lost friends like this in the past, but just recently started hanging out with another person like this. It's the best. Like, we can be dancing like absolute idiots 1 second, and then the next be talking about former abusive relationships, and it's all just totally cool and natural. Story 4. The conversations where no one has to try to carry it. It flows extremely easily, and it's like you could talk for hours and never run out of things to say. Story 5. The introverted one that spends an inordinate amount of time diving into random hobbies. Among the group I had in university, people seem to have drifted apart. One guy I spoke with, I spent time skateboarding, building central processing units, video games, and playing guitar. Not really the type to like to sit around and talk random things. Story 6. The ones I can argue over stupid things with for no reason, and it's just fun. Are you brain dead? Garoppolo is overrated. He's only doing well because the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan are doing so well right now. He's a better quarterback than Brady. Brady can't throw well and he's horrible at running. Shut up. Brady is the best that ever played the game. His receivers just can't do anything right. Oh, I have to go. Hey, I'll see you later, man. See you, man. Good luck on finals. Story 7. The one who is able to assess situations and read what type of friend he needs to be. He is able to roast and needle you while taking it himself, and then turn around and give you an ear to listen or offer his advice when things are wrong or you need support. An adaptive friend is the best friend. Story 8. I'm a white-collar sales guy, And my best friend is a blue-collar farmhand. We like the contrast and how our different views on things help us figure things out. Story 9. The one who occasionally insults me, but we go back and forth as a joke. We share the same interests and hobbies, enjoy each other's company, and joke about everything, except other people. Story 10. The ones who don't hold things against me, who don't have much expectation of me, who aren't too sensitive, with whom we share mutual respect. I struggle socially, so it's hard to find good people who aren't too picky about me. Story 11. Person who offends people with the way they said it or their general opinions because they're kind of a jerk. However, in action, they are actually nice people and don't intentionally harm others or always put themselves first. Story 12. My older brother is the de facto leader of our group, and I admire him greatly. We actually have a great bond, more so than a sibling rivalry. I mean, we do have a rivalry, but it's not a bad one. We're both siblings and best friends. Story 13. As an introvert, I always find that the other quiet guy is my favorite because after 20 minutes at the party, we just sit on the couch waiting to drive all the drunk guys home. Once, we sat and watched Static for half an hour and didn't even talk to each other the entire time. Also, when the quiet guy talks, everyone listens. Story 14. That friend who calls out my nonsense. The one who says, "You know that's nonsense, right?" He's not always well-liked by others. Sometimes I just feel like he pins down my slippery behavior and gives me a hard time, but when looking back at it all, he has been the one genuinely caring about each of us and is not afraid to be disliked if it means that we improve as a person. Story 15. The level-headed and honest one. Whenever I have an issue and need to know if I'm being unreasonable, I can go to him, and he'll give me an honest and unbiased opinion, despite being my closest friend. I've needed someone like him in my life to help me sort through my own problems, and I do my best to reciprocate for him. Story 16. Shared values and humor. I used to have a moderately sized friend group years ago, and after it disintegrated, I only really speak to my best friend now. Our tastes and hobbies have diverged over the years, but we still share the same principles and can laugh at the same things. Some of our friends had one or the other quality, but only my best friend has both, and that's kept us together over the years through thick and thin. Story 17. Yeah, dude, your example is brothers for life stuff. I had a friend in the past who was so weirdly sycophantic to my face, it made me uncomfortable, but I thought maybe he just didn't have a lot of friends and was just trying hard. You know? We hung out a lot. He started going to the gym with me, and all the while he was flattering me to my face, he was talking badly behind my back. Like, I'm human, and I do ridiculous stuff that warrants being made fun of. Make fun of me to my face, and I'll laugh with you. Story 18. The one who can see through people and when they are lying because they are always the first to ask someone if they are okay. The first to cut through the jokes and the bravado and try to take care of people. Story 19. One of my friends and I will start arguing in a public place as a joke and be swearing, "Shut up, you midget," and stuff like that. People around us will get worried and be like, "What's going on?" Then later we'll start laughing at their reactions. Story 20. The facilitator always includes people, plans activities, and checks in on everyone. These are the people who have made any good friend group I've had work well. Story 21. The one who's actually in it to be a friend listens, gives advice, and tells you things are tough when they are. Too many people in friend groups are only in it for the good times but disappear when you're going through something big or small. I've experienced too much of the latter, and that's seriously reduced my willingness to invest in a friendship unless I have some good indicators they aren't just a fair-weather friend. The good ones you do have, though, are solid gold that never go bad. Story 22. The one who is super carefree. Can almost generate his own reality of positivity and shares it with those around regardless of their moods. One who is first to crack a joke at anyone's, including his own, expense. One who is uplifting and never complaining. Story 23. For me, it's the intelligent womanizing partier. The dude who gets all A's in school, is good with women, enjoys a good night out with the lads, is sociable and helps those around him. I've known a few in my time, and they are usually my favorites. Story 24. The Rambler. I tend to be quiet in groups, but he is always one to break the ice. As such, I feel much more involved even if I'm not saying much. Also, I'm the opposite. You can roast me in a group setting all you want as long as everyone there knows it's nonsense. They tend to know it's nonsense because I'm always there to hear the insult myself, and we never talk like that in smaller groups. We always say positive things if anyone approaches us outside of the other's presence. Story 25. My favorite friend is honestly the kindest guy I know. He doesn't have an ounce of hate in his heart. He's the type who won't talk negatively about people. Trust me, I've tried. He's the most genuine guy I know, and I wish I had a girl best friend who acted like him. Story 26. The one that doesn't sugarcoat stuff. You shouldn't date that girl. What do you know? About a week later, after the guy got dumped, you could not live with your failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. Story 27. The one who laughs at my jokes and says to the group, hey guys, Bohemian has a joke. It was funny. Let's hear it. That's why the Key and Peele sketch about joke stealing always makes me frustrated. Story 28. I think when it is reversed, I like it more. When I am with everyone, I mess around more, and in private, that is when it is more serious stuff at times. I think I love every kind of friend except for the flakers. Story 29. I'm in a fraternity, so I will extend this to the brotherhood, the inclusive one. You know the guy, the one who messages randomly saying you're doing great, and always invites you to things even if you can't go. Always the most loyal friends, too. Story 30. I always have chocolate or other sweets on me. I was told that is one of my best qualities. Yes, when I say always, I mean always. Want a Duplo? Sure. I don't have an eating disorder, I just often get low sugar. Story 31. My favorite friend is the type of friend that will listen to what I have to say during a conversation, since my other friends couldn't notice me that much because I'm too quiet. I often feel left out, so I tend to isolate myself, but that certain friend always finds a way to make me feel included. Also, a friend that will support you and will tag you on a lot of stuff. She's actually a great friend that I have. Her name's Issa, and I appreciate her so much. Story 32. I'm a bit of an introvert, but I have a guy friend who would always back me up and remind other people of my existence, while I just stand there silently in the midst of everyone's conversations. He would either talk to me directly or ask me things related to the conversation, and I couldn't appreciate it more. Story 33. The one who is always down to vibe with you on something you have been thinking about and is willing to discuss anything, whether it is a random interaction or some deep stuff. Story 34. The one who makes sure to include all friends in our group when we are planning something to do. The one who replies to the group text when a friend is in need, sends a meme, or needs support or guidance. When out, the one who is funny and supportive but not the center of attention. The one who is easygoing but also helps plan friends' outings. Story 35. The one who speaks up when someone suggests splitting the check evenly between everyone, but someone else in the group only ordered soup and a glass of water. Story 36. The older, quieter guy, the guy I know has my back. My best friend would never stoop to causing petty drama for drama's sake. I know that no matter what time of day it is, I can call him up and he'll be there for me with some solid advice. We came up together, outlived the wild and rambunctious party years together, and this is my favorite stage of friendship. Story 37. The one who will notice slight changes in others' behaviors. For example, my group of friends is pretty rowdy and there's a lot of joking, but there is one guy who will notice if another person is a little quieter than normal or whatever and will always take the time to ask if they are all right. Those people are very important to have. Story 38. The one who is there for everyone, no matter the situation. The one who takes charge of things when no one is stepping up. The one who lives his life to the fullest and takes his friends with him. If that is you, you deserve a Reddit gold medal in real life. Story 39. The one that knows you better than you know yourself can call you out on your nonsense and is able to genuinely encourage you because they pay enough attention to see when you are accomplishing things. Story 40. My best friend is one of the 3 best humans I know. He has a great mix of loyalty, honesty, optimism, support, kindness. He's amazing, and while I'm leaps and bounds ahead of him in some areas that are viewed as important, he is without a doubt a better person than I am. I really only know a few people who genuinely support and celebrate the successes of others, and I consider myself incredibly blessed that they choose to be a part of my life. If you ever meet any yourself, make sure to nurture them, because they are a dying breed and represent the absolute best of our species. Story 41. The loyal friend who makes jokes with me when we are together and with the group and supports me the most and I support them, is not an inconsiderate person and does not just leave the group to join another for no reasonable reason. Thankfully, my current group is small, but we are really good friends and all of us love and support each other, which is making the school year better than the rest despite it being difficult academically. Story 42. The organizer. He was great. He would always come up with fresh ideas for things we could do as a group. He would always make sure everyone was invited with advance notice. He was positive and very goal-oriented. Anyway, ours died in a car accident last year, and now we're lucky if the squad gets together every 2 months. I miss him. Story 43. I like the guy who will just go along with some harmless stupid stuff. Want to get a shopping cart out of a lake? Yes, I'm in. I'm that friend. The shopping cart thing happened. Story 44. I wish I knew. At 27, with a mom in the hospital, I posted a photo of the hospital entrance on my Instagram story. All my friends saw it, but no one reached out. I deleted my Instagram after 9 years of use because apparently no one cares about me. My best friend is my dog. Story 45. Sometimes I get excited while telling my friends a story, and they just kind of interrupt me and start talking to each other. It happens quite often, and my favorite type of friend is the one that notices that. I don't really have someone like that except my boyfriend, but he isn't always there, so most of the time I just kind of stop talking. I'm that kind of friend and always keep asking them to continue the story, but yeah, maybe I'm just really bad at storytelling, so no one wants to ask me again. Also, sometimes I get really excited and happy and tell them a story, and get zero reaction out of it. Yeah, okay, maybe I should stop with the storytelling. Story 46. I like your first few statements, and my favorite type is just the exact opposite of that. I have a work friend who talks negatively about me in public. Jokingly, of course, but constantly makes me feel appreciated when we're alone and hints at how much he'd miss me if I ever look for another job. Story 47. Really boisterous, loud, and funny guy who gets a little too drunk. This type of guy is also a good person to have real conversations with late at night. They are often the kind of person you have to clean up after, but you don't mind because he's worth having around. Story 48. The one who is always up for trying new things and, in general, looks out to balance the group. It's a pleasure hanging out with someone who is considerate and nice to everyone involved.